So did your questions? About the building?
I saw.
Yeah. Should open some windows.
It's kind of old school.
Yeah.
Off with feedback.
Okay, call the meeting, North Station Building Replacement Mini Meeting. 5:17. Any adjustments to the agenda? Any public comment?
If Doug wants to state his name there, just for the record.
Oh, this is
It's recorded, so
Douglas Kemmerer, 372 Cary Bay Lane.
thank you. Approval of minutes for June 11th, 2025.
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Monthly review of progress, so I printed off Dawn's. Yeah, copy.
I do.
Yeah, copy.
Do you? Mhm.
So he's gone, he's.
Hey, Tracy.
It's
linked.
It's Dawn's progress. Report, select board. As received as well.
Copy for them.
Yeah. Keep following there.
You want lights?
Well, a couple of things have changed here. At least one of these things has changed. Well, there's been a couple of them. From Don's report, we're not required to have the borings. It will be test pits.
Okay,
Tracy Jouer will,
Yeah, we got set up test pits.
Yeah.
Dawn and. Sure.
probably Scott Homestead. Yeah, Scott Homestead maybe from Krebs and Lansing. So that one's done there. As far as the other thing there, I received the, what do you call that?
I'm drive.
Some drive from Robert Kaneko today, which I handed on over to Mr. Murdoch, and he will be handing that over to Matt Reed tomorrow.
Date on the select board meeting last night discussing the bond. So that's on there as well.
Well, we discussed it. I'm sure we have finalized anything here.
So there
But
was,
we seem to be in agreement for a 20-year bond.
right, but there was no official motion made or, okay.
I don't think there was.
It was not.
No, that'll be at our next meeting.
Something on the agenda,
So,
Which meeting, what's the date of that one?
July 21st.
A 20-year bond normally has the highest interest rate.
no, actually, the 30-year does.
No, the 20-year tends to be higher than the 30-year.
Would you like to look at
Let me see, you
the,
got the numbers there. You
This
have
is
the
what-
numbers.
we were quoted by the Vermont Bond Bank. Read that, but you're welcome. to-
Maybe different than.
Yeah,
Others.
Very good.
well,
The discussion,
Treasury
yeah,
interest rates is what I was just
yeah.
talking about, not bank interest rates.
what transpired there last, or at our last select board meeting was we discussed 10, 20, or 30. One select board member was in favor of a 10-year. The reason being there is that at the end of 10 years, the interest amount paid there is like, what's this, just under 900,000 versus a 30-year, which was at 3.5, something like that million. So there was quite a disparity between the two. So there was quite a bit of discussion on that.
The interesting thing, last night with the discussion, I didn't realize till now with your question, Doug, is. I think last night the discussion was more around the overall cost of interest, depending on the length of the bond, rather than the actual interest rate. Which one kind of correlates with the other.
Sure.
Interesting.
So that's where we sit there with that, but we'll be finalizing that at our next select board meeting.
Fundraising, components, that's just shy of, 20,000 right now. We did have some discussion on with our account, how best to utilize those funds, in the project. So we have to think out of the box on how to do that, whether it's cover soft costs or stuff required inside the building, you know, some of the stuff that Don had detailed in his budget, the air filtration system, that type of thing, which is very important. So we just need to, going forward, we need to keep that in mind. As potentially more may come in. I think the mindset of most is, well, we're gonna pay for it anyway, so.
So basically, your accountant advised you not to write a check to the town to offset construction costs.
Correct.
So based on the amount of funding, we need to be thinking about what you could do to offset the cost of the project.
So like
So,
I'll just use the air scrubbers inside the apparatus base. So the cost for those units installed was 29,000. So that could be, and then, you know, they're ceiling home. On the plans, they plug into a standard 110 outlet. That's not a direct capture system, it's kind of a full room. Air cleanser, air filtration, if you will. So it could be utilized for that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, gear racks or.
I don't think we'll have any trouble finding a list of things that needs to be purchased.
No, so we just
So,
need to keep
it's
that in mind going
yeah.
forward and, you know, we have Deb's compiling a list of the contributors. And we can, you know.
That type of equipment's gonna be included in the overall bond.
Yeah, Don,
The overall project. with Tom.
yeah, Don has it included in the, yeah, no, Don has it included in the budget, but.
But this, it's important for everybody to be on the same page, so as we're talking to potential vendors, we're telling them the right thing,
Yes,
right? Because we weren't thinking that when we did the open house, so, okay, thank you.
and we wanted to make sure that. We were doing it right,
Right,
and that was the way to handle it, so
Yep.
we threw that scenario by her and she said, absolutely.
Good.
So,
great, thank you.
Calendar articles went out. I think he's planning a third.
Yeah, he wants to do a stories of firefighters. And he did a lot of interviews at the open house.
Get rid of my name. Friends of the North Station, how's that? Painting out,
Yeah, we've gotten, everything's been mailed, so,
thank you
yeah, you're
very
welcome.
much. For being on that.
So I received the one-page, postcard. And then at the open house, I've got a more complete brochure.
You got one of the brochures, yes.
Yes. Which indicated the bond was expected to be 2.8 million.
I think that was
was early
early,
on.
that was early on, and that was a preliminary projection for the cost of the fire building.
Being optimistic.
Well, we've since added.
A
the
year ago
garage
it
and
was.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're dreamers in North
Okay.
So, and then we hired an engineer. So,
Okay.
or whatever his title is. So,
So, yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, we'll have to see what the third mailer looks like. I hope it's going to include more information about the whole project. I've not seen a draft yet.
I received one today. I haven't opened it yet.
Was that?
I received one today. I haven't opened it yet, but it's in the works.
Okay, so Don's saying you approve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I hope it included some historical data on how we got here.
Saw the email and flagged it. I did not open it. This is
Forward that to
sure,
me.
it's what we discussed, so. What Don and I discussed includes that, so yes.
Yeah, okay. And the open house went pretty well, better attended than I expected, which was good. Pretty good crowd.
It was fun having the fire truck there.
Yeah, that worked out well. So actually, we're on the train on here in about half hour, 45 minutes. For the first time.
I was very impressed with it, looked like an actual pumper.
Yeah,
As compared to the two older pumpers that looked pretty primitive.
yeah, so we're gonna be learning all about it this evening. So he's got the monthly outlook, the look ahead, Carl mentioned the boring, so that's off the table. He's got the discussion about the bond vote with the select board, so that's on there. Additional meetings with architects as plans, develop. I'm gonna be getting together with Matt, myself and Chris Rex to go over what's there. And, you know, discuss changes and we'll see how the first pass of the review goes. Civil layout, ramp up from mechanical and electrical engineers to design narratives. That's in Don's wheelhouse. Second mailer, late July. Article on we discussed. The renderings are here on display in the town office. They made their way back.
Thank you, Mike.
We're gonna try to get the pumper down here a couple of weekends during the day. Park it here on the lawn. We're gonna try to do our best to recreate the photo from 1947.
Nice.
Maybe use those two pictures as to yeah, then and now, and try to get, you know,
We should let Michael Pratt know the 2 dates that will be there. I can do that if you let me know the dates.
I think that'll,
Should we do anything else to like advertise to people in advance, like maybe have a bake sale or something just to get people to come or?
yeah, I think we just
No.
park it out there and let it speak for itself.
I think, well, I, as somebody who enjoys history, I really love the original photo and just as a drive-by, it would be hard to highlight that,
I think,
but
so
I'm not
our,
trying to create extra work either.
so on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
we put the,
I don't do Facebook.
we did the push in
Yeah,
of the new truck. where we physically push it in.
Yep,
It's kind of a tradition when you welcome a new truck into the house. So you manually push the truck back into the bay for
Yeah.
the first time.
and you didn't hit the,
So, that video, which is real, got 12,700 views as
Nice.
of noon today. I was like, somebody pointed out to me, says, oh,
Yeah.
you see the number of views? And I'm like, what?
so
He
we
said-
gotta like hashtag fire station fundraising or something.
So I was amazed
gotta-
that it had
yeah.
been seen by that many people.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping between, and maybe we were talking about how to get it on the front page forum, maybe those two photos linked together, kind of a then and now might garner some support from the voters.
Okay.
Just a thought, because I know front porch
Maybe-
forum is huge.
that, every door mailer that's gonna go out. That I'm gonna forward you a draft of. And just have, I was imagining it mostly being, text, because other bond things we've done like that are, but it's have a picture or two in there somewhere.
Could you put a link and then refer to the website so they can go and look at?
I mean, this is gonna be like a cider leaflet. That's gonna
Yeah,
go,
it's like,
we fold it in half and somebody would have to sit down at their computer and,
Type it in.
which I guess some people would do, but.
yeah, I
Well,
think,
let's see what, I haven't opened it, let's see what it looks like.
yeah, I think that. I think the mailer needs to have information about. The whole project. Not just the fire station furnace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah,
Cause that's, the public works building is an integral part of this project,
Yep.
so.
good point.
Just my opinion. So that's Don's update. That was the review, architect update. We discussed that we have the file for Robert on the mat. Update on drawing permits and other information is needed for bid proposal. I think that's probably going to. A lot more information this month as things ramp up. Velco power requirement. Not gotten any info on that. But I am told. 2024 that. Commercial buildings, based on the number of parking spaces, are required to have EV chargers, or at least have 2 designated spaces. That are charger ready. So. As we discussed here before. Having a couple of chargers in the fire station parking lot. Which would be pay variety. And kind of. Determined that it might not be a good fit. However, it is a Vermont, now that requirement is now part of the Vermont. Energy code.
Commercial versus municipality.
I'm trying to find out, so I reached out to, Jeff Bryant to find out if he could get me more information on this. A convenience store that is a standalone convenience store with 50 spaces or less is exempt from having these. And there are other exemptions, and I'm not sure, if you look at the building classifications. There's not really. A first response type of building built into this classification system, so I'm trying to get some information because. Personally, I don't think it would be. A good idea, we're coming and going. In an emergency, folks are coming in and trucks are leaving. Do we want to have somebody set up in one of those spots?
Well, people don't wanna charge the spots like that, there's nothing to do,
Right,
it takes time.
so that's So more information coming. I'm
Yeah.
trying to do my homework on it before.
That's weird.
I'm no overnight person.
No, pardon?
Need that ordinance.
And if it,
coming.
and honestly, if it is mandated, I feel it should be a pay service. That goes to the, you know. To the land, to the property owner.
Well, you put the stuff in and there's maintenance costs.
Though, yeah, there are maintenance costs, you have to pay for the infrastructure to the machine. And then there's, there's maintenance and. It's gotta be plowed out in a timely manner, and so there's a lot, so I'm trying to get. An exemption on it,
Yeah,
because I'm being told that, oh no, you don't have a choice.
I mean, the library looked into getting a grant and they actually, even though they were gonna get a grant to install it, they decided not to do it because it isn't just like physical maintenance, it's like monitoring.
Yeah,
Like wherever it ends up, whoever has it in their parking lot is in charge of if it breaks or somebody doesn't, their credit card doesn't work, or there's damage to their car and there's has to be somebody like ID to handle all these issues.
yeah,
It's like, we're not a store
no.
yet. If you want help on this, let me.
Well, it may come, it may come to that, because it's just, it's not, I don't think it's a good fit, I think that's.
30,000 gallons there to put out the average EV fire,
Yeah,
so.
so anyway, so more information coming on that. Yeah. And then updates on the grants and funding. I got a pretty good line on the generator grant. I'll just keep things.
Now, do
Plotting ahead in that area.
the grants you're looking at, do they have to go through the fire department entity or are they?
We would be the applicant, you would be the administrator.
Okay.
So. Because it's not. That's the way that's set up for that particular.
Yep.
Department. So I would manage all the paperwork, but.
No, that's fine. I just was curious. I mean, no.
So,
I'll
and,
say it. And then
and I think that. Even if the bond bill passes, I still think that, we need to continue on with the. Search for, grant monies,
Mhm.
for sure. It's just not my personal thing, and I think we need to, make that clear to the voters that. If the bond vote passes, we're just not gonna say, that's it, I know, we're good to go now, but we need to.
Through your, and we can talk offline about this, but, Lisa and I have both looked multiple times over the past couple of years. We've been in the grant scene a lot with what's going on with the water department. And it's always a dead end, but I wonder. That's from a municipal side, if you're in a totally different circle with the fire.
Yes.
If you would have more leads or different leads or,
Unfortunately, the state, unlike New York State, the state of Vermont does not. Offer grant programs for fire station construction or rehabilitation. I think New York allocates 25 million each year specifically for that. But after talking with VLCT about. Grant funding for fire stations, there's really not a lot available to Vermont departments. I mean, there's the Fire Act grant. Which is under FEMA and the US Fire Administration. But until, next session, I don't foresee a lot of.
so there isn't like a private entity, or a stream that isn't necessarily a federal state funded.
So, one of the departments down in southern Vermont, which I forget which lake they're on. They've had a number of drownings down there. So through the Gary Sinise Foundation, they just got a grant for $30,000 for a water rescue, small jet boat. So there's those types. There's the Dennis Leary Foundation. So there are those.
Outfitting grant.
Yeah, it's more of a,
That just gives us more stuff we have to house.
well, right, but it, you know.
But, yeah.
You know, could it be, you know, the washer and dryer for turning gear, you know, those types of things that are in Don's budget, but can you get grant monies for it? Probably. So. Any other questions, comments on Don's update or where we're at? How about you? You got any questions?
Well, not directly toward the municipal, but towards the fire department. As an IBM retiree, they used to, maybe still have matching donations. And I don't know if that's been discussed, with fundraising committee.
And what would they match?
Well, if, as an IBM, or if I give money to a charity, IBM may give the same amount of money to that charity,
Ben and Jerry's does
as
that.
long as I ask them to.
Yeah.
So there's a, imagine there's a few IBMers in islands.
Yeah, that, and some
And there
other.
may be other companies that do the same thing.
And Ben and Jerry's is those, we do the community giving, but it's,
Right.
they kind of have a criteria of things they like to fund.
Yeah, it's someone's already funding it and we're happy to help contribute,
Right. But there's also,
sort of matching funds.
yeah, and there's some others, there's a couple I'm gonna pursue. But. Yeah, going forward, I think we just need to, we're gonna pursue as many grants and contributions as we can. Thanks,
That's cool. Pay off the bond faster.
huh?
Pay off the bond faster.
Well, or,
If it comes to that.
we're,
Less than the bond perhaps. or-
yeah, some of those items that are on the budget, like the racks and the upfit of the station, as Don calls it, so. All right, any other questions? We need to approve the invoice from Don. Billing for Northfield Fire Department Town Garage Replacement, 42.75 hours. Amount due, $3,000. Motion to approve so we can pass those select board for payment.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Carl,
Second.
second by Marie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You. And agenda building. Anything we want next month? Aside from what we have now?
What we have now, that pretty much covers
Okay.
the next few
Yeah,
meetings.
there's a progress, you know.
Okay, so we just, if there are things that arise, we just need to get them to Marie in a timely fashion so that it can be updated ahead of time. Okay, next meeting, August 13th, 2025.
Sure.
Okay. Any other business before we adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Quick ones.